Shopping should be pleasurable, a time to relax, a time to explore. Comfortable, convenient, and a whole lot more.
The concept of the American dream is something that is constantly evolving over time.
Our subject is what happened to the country in the decade just ending. We begin with the nightmare.
This is the American dream in action.
Going all the way back to the founding of the country, there's always been this dream of living free. And, of course, dying hard. And although Bruce Willis would be the true beacon for that, many would take their proverbial stab at the American dream in the almost 250 years since its inception.
America is where great things are possible, more than any other country in the world. It's a little cliche, but it's true. America is the land of opportunity.
To many immigrating into America, the Statue of Liberty would serve as a monument to the American dream. But to people who grew up in America, or more specifically in East Rutherford, New Jersey, there was a far greater monument to the American dream. Of course, I'm talking about the shopping mall.
After more than 20 years, the American dream is finally a reality. The first phase of the mega mall opened up this morning.
Submitted for your approval, the American Dream Mall. A $5 billion monument not just to America, but to the idea of capitalism itself. A mall so big it makes the neighboring MetLife Stadium look like a mere center for ants.
What is this? A center for ants?
Of course, it's not even the biggest mall in America, though. The Mall of America in Minnesota is still the reigning champion, clocking in at over 5.6 million square feet, almost twice the size of the American Dream Mall. But why build a mall so big? Well, it's kind of a field of American dreams mentality when it comes to that sort of thing, where if you build it, they will come. But will they actually come?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
That's what investors are hoping for with a mall this big, because building it wasn't so simple. In fact, the story behind this giant mall is almost as emblematic of the pitfalls of the American dream as the mall itself. Now, when you look over the bridge at New Jersey, it looks like mostly factories and trash processing facilities, creating that wonderful smell we all know and love. But what you don't see at first glance is that it's all sitting on what used to be the Meadowlands.
Everything grows natural out here, but when they put a garbage dump, who does that? People themselves, they ruin it. I remember these meadows before these dumps were started up. It was nice. The water was clear, no factories polluting. My gosh, these factories come in, some of these ditches don't even freeze. There's so many chemicals in them. I don't care how cold it is.
See, back in the 1950s, the Meadowlands were kind of famous for being the dumping ground for tons of unregulated trash and dead bodies disposed of by the mob.
It's home to many weird fish-like creatures, and also the depository of all of the unsolved crimes and murders.
But by 1970, the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission had been established to clean things up and also protect whatever wildlife was still left there. This commission was also put in charge of the 20,000-acre district governing the now protected Meadowlands. So, obviously, the first action of the brand new commission put in charge of protecting the Meadowlands' already unstable environment was easy. Build a giant incinerator to burn all of the trash and dead bodies into the atmosphere instead of just dumping them into the swamp. The commission would also approve an enormous sports and entertainment complex to be built by the recently established New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority. That's right. In order to save the wetlands, the New Jersey Meadowlands Commission decided to pave over the wetlands. And it worked. Well, not the saving the Meadowlands part, but the paving part, that definitely worked. It worked so well, in fact, that it actually brought both of New York's football teams across the bridge to New Jersey.
History was made on October the 10th, 1976, when the New York Giants officially opened their spectacular new stadium. The soaring concrete and steel structure, only 6.5 miles from the heart of mid-Manhattan, is considered by the Giants to be the finest football facility in the world.
By the time Y2K rolled around, the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority was again looking to expand the Meadowlands Sports Complex. But they weren't looking to build any old racetrack or stadium this time. So instead, they partnered up with the Mills Corporation to build a mega mall entertainment pleasure dome, aptly named Xanadu.
Legendary was the Xanadu, where Kubla Khan decreed his stately pleasure dome. Since the pyramids, Xanadu is the costliest monument a man has built to himself.
Meadowlands Xanadu would have it all. A full-service luxury shopping mall, meshed seamlessly with non-stop entertainment like a ski slope, IMAX theater, and amusement park. After 10 years of pitching, planning, and fighting off those pesky environmental activists, the Mills Corporation was finally ready to break ground on their most ambitious project to date. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Retail shopping was at an all-time high, and the economy was booming. What could possibly go wrong?
With U.S. financial markets in crisis, but Congress balking at his bailout plans, President Bush went on TV to say times like these demand urgent action.
The market is not functioning properly. There has been a widespread loss of confidence, and major sectors of America's financial system are at risk of shutting down.
Not even 2 years after breaking ground on their most ambitious project to date, the Mills Corporation would fold and sell off their remaining assets, including the still unfinished Xanadu project.
So here's the big question we have here. Is this thing just stalled because of the bad economy? Is this just a little hiccup for Xanadu? Or was this thing a bad idea from the get-go?
Despite the many promises of completion, the abandoned mall would sit decaying for the next 5 years. It wasn't until 2011, when heavy snowfall caused the roof to collapse on the ski slope, that the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority had had enough, and finally brokered a deal to get the mall finished once and for all.
The Christie administration has reached a deal to revive the vast Xanadu project. Oh, yes. It is a half-built, not even, eyesore along a stretch of the New Jersey highway. It has had already 2 owners, $1.9 billion flushed down the toilet in trying to pursue this.
The mall's new owner, the 555 Group, was already a behemoth in the mega mall industry, having created both the Mall of America and the West Edmonton Mall in Canada. But taking on Xanadu and transforming it into the American dream would bring even the infallible 555 Group to the brink of financial collapse.
New Jersey's mega mall, the American dream, could be headed for a potential financial nightmare.
The mall reportedly has less than $1,000 in the bank.
The 555 Group is run by a family of Iranian Canadian Orthodox Jews that clearly love to build the biggest shit possible. But it didn't start out that way for them. Back in the 1940s, Jacob Germezian was a simple Persian rug salesman. But by the mid-1960s, Jacob Germezian would move his family from Iran to Edmonton, Canada, and start buying and selling large properties to the Canadian government. It was with this massive amount of money that the 555 Group would build their very first super mall.
A shopper's dream and a world of excitement. West Edmonton Mall. Surprises wait around and return at West Edmonton Mall. West Edmonton Mall. A world of shopping pleasure. West Edmonton Mall. Attractions for adventure. The style selection will greet you there. West Edmonton Mall. A shopper's dream and a world of excitement. West Edmonton Mall.
10 years after that, the 555 Group would take their talents to Minnesota, building the now famous Mall of America. All through the 80s and 90s, the mall would reign supreme. The 555 Group set a clear standard back then for what the top tier of retail and entertainment should be.
And that can be the idea of water park, because winter time is cold here and you want to go to a temperature that's 85 to 90 degrees and warm like a Hawaii.
But by the year 2000, Jacob Ghermezian, the family patriarch, would pass away, and with him would go the entire mall industry.
It was once one of the largest malls in the region and one of the most profitable in the country. But that time has come and gone. Soon, the Galleria at White Plains will close its doors for good.
One of the last original malls in Columbus is closing. After more than 50 years, Eastland Mall will shut its doors for good Saturday.
Macy's announced Wednesday a long list of stores it is closing nationwide, including one at the Lakeland Square Mall. Many worry the mall won't survive if Macy's leaves.
Even though malls seem to be fading away faster than ever, Don Ghermezian and the 555 Group still had their hearts set on fulfilling their American dream: mall. By the time they brokered a deal with the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, it had been a concept that the 555 Group had been shopping around for over 15 years. But this time the American dream seemed like it was closer than ever. And it was. Well, kind of. See, the neighboring Giants and Jets almost immediately filed a lawsuit against the 555 Group, preventing them in engaging in any sort of construction that would impede the parking for the 15 or so Jets fans that come to see them lose during football season.
Oh, he's down. He's down.
Oh, no.
It's his ankle.
Once they were finally able to settle with the football teams, the 555 Group still had a big, giant, mall-sized problem in front of them. So they did what every private American company has to do at some point. Get hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks from the state and over $1 billion in bank financing. Although in doing so, they did have to leverage both the Mall of America and the West Edmonton Mall as collateral. By October of 2019, they were able to open the ski slope and the Nickelodeon amusement park, but the rest of the mall remained heavily under construction for an opening in March of 2020. But as long as they met that deadline, they should make just enough money to squeak by with JP Morgan.
This is a journey that we're all still on, so there's a ways to go with the other phases.
Whiteboards are up blocking where more than 450 stores are set to open in March of 2020.
By October, 7 months after closing their doors and almost 10 years after purchasing the property, the American Dream Mall would open to the public, retail and all. Many of the stores, food stalls, and activities remained under construction, slowly opening over the next 3 years. Walking around the mall today, you can still see large areas covered by temporary construction walls and a clear lack of stores and activities in certain areas. However, what the mall does have that you probably can't find anywhere else is a brick and mortar Mr. Beast Burger restaurant. So that's fun if you like waiting in line for a YouTube burger. I spent a ton of time going to this big dumb mall over and over again for this video, trying to understand what the people who created it were thinking. Have any of them actually ever set foot in a mall before? I personally would much rather go to a regular sized mall, or even better, an outlet mall, anywhere where I don't have to wait in a 30-minute long line to get Jollibee or Taco Bell. But maybe that's the kind of American dream that the 555 Group had in mind when they built this place. A mall so big with a food court so small that it forms some sort of Great Depression era bread line for a Doritos Locos taco. Even with the heavy crowds, the mall still isn't reaching the estimated capacity that the 555 Group needs to keep JP Morgan away from a controlling stake in their other more successful malls. They've basically doomed their family business to be controlled by the interest of their lender. And that, folks, is the most American dream of all. If you become too big to fail, then you finally have the freedom to do whatever you want.